What's up, YouTube? I'm your boy Jack. It's your boy Jack. And welcome back for another episode of A Daily Dose. Today we're going to be talking about age gap relationships. And I'm going to give you a perspective I don't really hear anybody giving, even though it seems pretty obvious to me. Before we get into it, though, I want to give credit to the original creator, which would be whatever podcast featuring Andrew Wilson. The links to both channels will be pinned in the comment section, first comment in the comment section. So if you want to go check out the video in its full entirety without interruptions from me, be sure to get down in the comment section. Um, and you can view it from there, but definitely leave me a comment before you leave. Don't do that. Don't do the other thing. Don't just go in there and just click on the video and leave without, leaving a comment for me. Um, all right, so without further ado, let's just jump right into it.
Disagreement you have with the show is age gap relationships.
Yes.
You're against them for a multitude of reasons. Why is that?
Because of the natural imbalance that can happen within a age gap relationship for both genders. Naturally, someone who's much older is going to have more education, they're going to have more life experience, they're going to have a bigger income. And because of that imbalance, there is a higher risk for abuse or manipulation.
Right. Now, this is all possible for sure. However, I could make a case for manipulation being guidance, right? We're all manipulated and or guided, I'm doing air quotes, to a certain degree, right? Persuaded, if you will, to not do or pursue things that are good for us, or or told to avoid things that are bad for us. The same thing can happen in a relationship between an older man and a younger woman, where because he has life experience, he chooses to use his life experience for benevolence opposed to malevolence, where he's guiding her towards guiding her towards things that will be in her best interest in the foreseeable future. People in general tend to not think long term, and it's not gender bias, but I do tend to see this more so in women, where they don't necessarily worry too much about 5 to 10 years out. They just think that it's going to work out somehow. And this just isn't the case. Anyway, let's continue.
That's why I'm against them. And I will add that I am a child of an age gap relationship. My father is 19 years older than my mother. And I have several family members that are in age gap relationships, and I have seen them negatively be affected by them.
Did your parents get divorced?
Yes. My mother was 21 when she divorced my father.
Can I ask you a question?
Oh,
on this?
okay. Not were they divorced? Would you recommend that all of your friends who are in age gap relationships get a divorce?
I think it depends per relationship and the amount of age that the gap is. So, for example, if it's 10 years or younger, that's
So
fine.
let's say you had one that are in a 15-year age gap relationship, a friend. They've been married for 5 years, and they have 2 kids together. Would you recommend that they go ahead and get divorced?
If the woman is being any kind of abused or isn't...
Well, no, she says that she absolutely adores him, and he says the same thing, and they have kids together, and they seem happy. Should they get a
Then I
divorce?
wouldn't recommend a divorce if they're happy.
Then age gaps themselves are not the problem then.
I would still say it's a problem just because of all of the reasons I listed earlier of like the older person having a power imbalance.
What is the power imbalance?
Like I said, they have more money, they have more life experience. It's
What if
easier
they
to
don't?
Real quick, Brian, I'm going to jump in there. Yeah, the person has more money, right? I.e., that person will have more control, more power, but that doesn't mean that they're looking to use that to exploit the woman, right? They could want to um, deliver and it's a very expensive um, lifestyle to where the woman is able to be a mother in modern times and stay at home with her kids and not have to be forced to go into some office and work for 8 to 12 hours a day and then come home and she's essentially robbed of motherhood. So he could then he that same guy that she's saying that is using the money to manipulate could be using that money to deliver an experience that most women just won't have nowadays. Let's continue.
Manipulate the younger person into believing, okay, I'm this perfect like partner that's going to, do all of these things for you, and then in the end, they're maybe like not paying all the bills.
See, it has to be a perfect situation for her to agree. No relationship is going to be perfect. Nobody's relationship is going to be perfect. It doesn't matter. Money does not mean that your relationship or your life is going to be perfect. It just means that you can afford to avoid certain things in life that might hinder you. They hinder others. That's all that means. You can buy more stuff and you can avoid certain problems. Does not mean that your life is going to be perfect.
You're trying to make sure that
But
you're
can't that
staying
happen
home.
in an age-similar relationship?
Okay, I can give you a perfect example. My mother immigrated here with my father at 18, pregnant with me. My father was the
And we're talking about an age gap relationship from immigrant from another country, right? They're coming over to America where it's the most expensive place to live. Of course, it's going to, and then he's starting at a super disadvantage being an immigrant coming over here, no family, no connections. I'm sure they had limited money, so they were poor until he was able to make certain money. Yes, all of that is going to lead to a bad relationship. It's going to lead to the man drinking because if the woman is assimilating with the women that are here, they're going to tell her, oh no, you should be getting this and that, you should be getting that, and then that. We don't know all the details, neither does she, but she's just putting it on the age gap itself.
provider. My father went out and worked, but a lot of times the lights would go out because he wasn't paying the electric bill. He was gambling. My mother, it wasn't until my mother started speaking full English and was able to go get a job.
And for quick reference, if that was the case where he was just drinking all the money up, which I find that hard to believe, and he wasn't just paying the bills, I don't agree with that at all. And definitely, you shouldn't bring any woman into your life if that's what your plans are.
That we were able to reliably stay in a home.
What does that
Well,
have
hold on.
anything
Those
to do?
those things could manifest themselves in an equal age relationship.
Well, that's also culturally informed. So they were coming from which nation?
Lebanon.
Yeah, so there it's
Where
very
age
common.
gap relationships are very
Yeah,
common.
not only very common, but so are incestuous relationships, right?
Yes.
Also very common.
Cousins get married
So,
there.
First cousins.
Yes, yes, they
So
do.
the thing is like the idea of having the cultural information, being culturally informed. Don't you think that here in the United States, there's a huge distinction between they're 16, 17, 18 in Iran and they're marrying a 30-year-old because that's part of how they keep legacies together with their first cousins or whatever and various things like this. And I live in the United States and can freely choose who I'm with, and I have very different cultural information.
But those kinds of marriages happen here too.
No,
17-year-olds get married,
Yeah, but
18-year-olds
they're
get
not
married.
usually-
I
they're not
personally
arranged
know.
marriages.
I personally know a 19-year-old that got married to a 53-year-old.
Okay.
What's the issue
And they
with
were
that?
they were constantly boasting.
Okay, so you take your one anecdotal experience this person that you personally know out of billions of people in the world, and you want to poo-poo the age gap relationships because of the one that you know.
Their age gap relationship, and they ended up getting divorced.
Yeah,
And
but
she
let's say
ended
they
up getting
didn't.
verbally and emotionally abused.
But let's say they didn't end up getting
Control
divorced.
imbalance.
Hang on.
Yeah, control
But let's say
imbalance.
they didn't end up getting divorced, and let's say there was no emotional abuse, and let's say they had 2 kids, and let's say right now they were still happy. What would your issue then? Would you have an issue with it? With the age
No,
gap
because
itself?
for me, my issue with the age gap comes with the power imbalance.
So
and
your
the-
issue is not with
the-
age gaps, it's with power imbalances.
Yes and no, because there's still that maturity level that you reach when
But
you
it's
get
not-
to a certain
yeah.
age, and
Life
then
experience.
But it's not inherent to the thing, right? So anytime I ask you what's the actual issue with the age gap, you point to things that have nothing to do with the age gap itself. So if it's the case that you had an age gap where the power was not imbalanced from your view,
She's saying
then
life
that age gap,
experience.
Right.
Well, but even then, you could have like a 30-year-old shut-in guy who marries a 19-year-old who's traveled with her parents all over the world. Then the experience seems equally yoked or similarly
but
yoked.
she's not emotionally mature because her prefrontal cortex has not fully developed.
Then why is she allowed to vote?
That's different.
Excellent. Oh, excellent question. Because that is way more important, right? Deciding the future of many versus deciding the future of oneself.
Than entering a marriage.
Well,
That's how far
Affecting
different.
the outcome of
You
the
can
different,
vote.
because if I
You can
enter a
vote on
marriage-
who can vote. Or you can vote on who can get married, but you can't get married.
No, I mean, you can get married, but I would think that it would be to a detriment or inappropriate for an 18-year-old to get married to a
Why?
30-year-old or a 50-year-old.
Yeah,
Because again,
But I don't-
there's not just life experience, there's education, there's emotional maturity.
Yeah, but do you see, like the conflation you're doing here? An 18-year-old, let's say she gets married to a 31-year-old guy. That to you, no go, right? That's
Yes.
like no go.
Yes.
Can the 18-year-old though override the vote of the 31-year-old guy?
Override?
Yeah, meaning she can nullify his vote by just voting against
I wouldn't
him.
agree that. I mean, I would say they both deserve the right to vote.
They both have the right, but she
Yes.
can vote against him, which nullifies his vote.
I guess.
Yeah. So
Yes.
so how is she informed enough to do that? She's informed enough to vote against him for all social issues in society, but is not informed enough to date him.
Because I think that relationships and voting for a society are two different
Yeah, one's way
things.
more important, and that would be
One-
voting for societal
It
issues, right?
involves a bunch of people
But
to override each
being
other's
in a
votes.
relationship,
This is only two people.
Right, that's
Very
right.
effective.
But being
It's
in a
only two
relationship, you
people,
put your
but
body
now
and your
you're
mental
letting an
health at
18-year-old.
risk.
See, look. They're telling, even some of the other girls are saying you're voting for the well-being of everybody, and the only thing she's talking about is you're putting your body at risk. What? So what is the alternative? The alternative is, okay, she doesn't marry the older guy who's stable, mature, and can provide leadership because he knows what he wants. He's been through life already. He's experienced life. Don't marry that guy. Go out there, find a young guy that's your age who's broke, who definitely doesn't want a wife, right? Because it's very expensive to start and maintain a family, and if you don't have that money, your family will end, right? So go out there with those guys. Go get pumped and dumped by 15, 20 guys until you get in your 30s, and then you want some guy to come save your life. Absolutely not.
Old vote in my interests, but at the same time saying that it would be somehow immoral if somebody my age dated one. And it's like, wait, what? That's bizarre. Not saying that I would. I'm just pointing out this hypocrisy, or not hypocrisy, but contradiction.
You guys aren't coming together
It
as a
would be-
unit, though. You're just
Yeah, but
like
what would that have to-
intermeshing in society.
Yeah, but the thing is like, if you can vote against my interests, right, then we're considering you the same type of adult that I am. And so if that's the case, if you're being imbued with the power of being the same kind of adult as me, then suddenly this saying that, hey, I'm going to infantilize women or infantilize young men and tell them that they can't do X or shouldn't do X, that seems silly to me. It's like, are they adults or are they not adults?
Yeah, and more power to Andrew. I could not. I don't care how much money they're getting paid. I'm not sitting up there talking to them like, because they just don't get it. It's like literally talking to a brick wall. Like they don't, the logic. It's just not there. The logic is just not there.
They're adults, but they live and they learn. And if they come across a man that's not a, then, you know, that just because he's older doesn't make him him acting like a makes him a at that point.
But that's true at
They're
any
18,
age.
they can
My
consent.
But isn't that
Age
true at any age?
relationships have all these different
Yeah, isn't that true at
circumstances
any
as well.
age?
That-
Like women at 21
No, there's
dating a
real
21-year-old should
predators.
avoid 21-year-old.
Target minors, and at
We're
18
not
they have
talking
that
about
choice
Sure.
to go and date
pedophiles.
an older man, and if they do so, there might be consequences. It might be great. They might get abused.
There's
At the
also
end of-
18-year-old
That's not
girls
every
who
single-
target lonely men. Like, so what?
That's
so
way.
it's like, so what?
That is a way lower number of people.
Based on
Men?
what?
Definitely
no,
not.
You said men who are specifically targeting 18-year-olds to date them.
So
Does
doesn't
that-
it 18
by the
younger
way-
women?
Wait, what?
Yeah, you're targeting an 18-year-old to date her. That makes you free.
No, what makes you a predator is if it's not consensual. At 18,
Right.
they can consent. That
Of
is
course.
their right to do so.
That's my
Yes,
whole point.
They
We're not
are being
saying non-consensual relationships.
How do you?
Yeah, I'm just saying
be
what
highly
would make him a
manipulative,
predator.
though.
They
So
can
what
be
would make a
manipulated.
30-year-old guy a for
Same
wanting to
age
date
could be
18-year-olds then?
They
Yeah,
can.
Because
You
they
can be
know that
manipulated
they have
at
less
any
experience
age,
with dating.
yes.
Hold
It's
on.
easier to get
wanna
them
go-
to
stop.
do
You
what they
wanna-
want to do.
Go ahead.
So I think Michaela Peterson actually made a tweet about this the other day. It went pretty viral. I think it's just cope for older women.
Totally.
Like being jealous of the younger women that
agree.
are still fertile and desired by.
And this is what they will never say because that is the truth right there. That's the only thing that matters. And if you look at it from a logical lens and if you just look at the numbers, if you have the women that were in their 20s and they played the field, right? And the only reason it's not working anymore is because of the internet. Thank God. Because it saved a lot of guys from marrying a woman who does not deserve to be married. These women will go from high school all the way up until like 30 to 35. Then they want to get married. They want to speed run somebody. I call it the Hail Mary, where they just throw it up there and they're trying to marry whoever's gonna catch it. And that's what it is. They don't want the younger women to deal with the guys who've done the work. Because as a guy, your 20s, unless you're genetically gifted, you're gonna be grinding, right? You're gonna be grinding until you get to 30, 35, some even 40 or 50, right? It depends on the guy, right? So, and the type of help and background that you're coming from, right? Make no mistake about it. There's luck involved as well. So that guy is going to be he's going to be building, grinding, and then he's going to want to then he has to get up a woman. Why would you get with a woman that's your age? If it took you till, let's just say 38, right? Why would you get with a woman your age and you have no kids? You want to start a family. You can't start a family with a woman your age. You can't start a family with a woman that's 35 because one, she's in geriatric pregnancy at that age already. And then she's only going to be able to give you one kid. And then that kid is at risk of being autistic and having all type of health problems. So you would get with a woman who's young, fit, feminine, and, friendly to you to start that family with. That makes perfect sense. She's exchanging her youth, beauty, fertility, and sexual exclusivity to her and her body in exchange for accessing your resources.
Wait,
Older
True.
men.
I disagree.
don't agree entirely.
And
Yeah,
also
I've been
it's about-
approached by a 20-year-old that wanted
Hold
to
on.
date me
Stop.
so badly.
Stop. Let her finish her point.
Okay, I think I lost my train of thought. But basically,
That's why we don't want people interrupting. If you can.
Fertility.
Michaela Peterson.
Well, you were referencing Michaela Peterson.
Yeah, okay, thank you. So
Welcome.
basically, it's not because most of the time that the men are desiring the women for their age, it's because they're desiring the traits of, like, the typical traits of a woman that age.
Not every younger woman is going to be fertile.
It's more typical.
Okay,
Oh my God. Most young women are fertile. Most young women, that is when they're able to, it's easier for them to have children. It's easier for them to snap back. It's better for them to have children in their 20s.
It's
bean
not about
soup,
fertility,
guys.
right?
Bean
You guys,
soup.
you
It's
guys
not about
this
fertility, it's
whole
about
night,
a
you guys have
multiple
been
mind.
Arguing
It's also about a lot of-
outliers,
Is
and
that
it
right?
just like
Yes.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe in the idea of like biological evolution?
Yes.
Okay. So the whole idea of evolution is to procreate, right? It's to reproduce. That's like the
Yes.
primary edict.
Yes.
So wouldn't attraction be built into that primary edict?
Yes.
Okay, so what would a man then be looking for the most based on attraction from an evolutionary standpoint to guarantee reproduction?
Childbearing hips, fertile
Young women. Wait, young women.
There you go.
I mean,
Ew.
they don't have to
Ew,
be
Not women their own age with
What's
the same
wrong with
maturity
women that aren't
levels.
disrespecting them?
No,
Hang
I'm
on.
saying
Let
automatically
me-
young women. That's
yeah.
sounding
Why?
as fuck.
Why
Well,
is it
let's-
not every
well,
man
hang
wants
on.
to
You mean
reproduce
adults?
either?
Hang on, adult
adults?
women.
Like,
We're not-
we
but-
can't
Yeah,
act
but
like
like when you're always looking for a young, we're talking about like much younger.
Yeah, I am
too.
talking about that too.
And see, like they always want to go to like below 18 for some reason. Like nobody's talking about. They always want to go to teenager or like they when they hear a man say he wants to be with a younger woman, they automatically go to the 12 to 16 uh year old age. Like nobody's talking about kids under the age of 18. Some and it's really like 20, right? We just say 18 because it's legal, right? So it's usually around 22, 23, somewhere around there. 21 to 23 is what those should be the numbers that should come to their head. That's the numbers that come to my head when I hear a man say he wants to be with a younger woman. I automatically go 21 to 23. Like they want to go straight to 12 to 16 just so they can like dirty it up and make it seem like you're sick and you want it. Like nobody's saying children or teenagers.
We're not talking
Yeah.
about like 15-year-olds. We're
No,
talking
we're
about
not. We're talking about
adult women.
18. We're
Yes,
talking about
we're
18-year-olds,
We're
who
not
I do
talking
consider
about
children.
them. We're talking about
18
I know
18-year-olds.
that.
If you're
I know
8
that. There's
but-
still differences.
Hang on, help me out
in
here.
your-
If I'm wrong,
18-year-old
if
just
I'm
graduated high school.
hang on, if I'm
Yeah.
wrong, just help me out here.
Yeah,
Walk-
18-year-olds.
just hang on,
graduated
just
high
walk
school.
through this with me. Do you believe that evolution's true?
Yes.
Okay. Is the primary edict of evolution to reproduce? That's the
Yes.
okay. So is attraction built into reproduction? You can't reproduce
Yeah,
with
it's
people.
one of the things that
Well,
leads
hang on.
to
Well, it's the only.
reproduction, and reproduction can also happen without a relationship and marriage. But
Totally.
we're also talking in the sense of a relationship.
I'm just talking about
and
attraction.
marriage.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about attraction. Absent attraction, there's no reproduction.
Well, I'm not talking about us like we're animals right
But
now.
I'm talking.
But we are animals. We are animals. Right? Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, guys. Again, if you want to finish, it's a little bit left of this video. If you want to finish it or, see it again without my commentary, again, the video will be pinned to the first comment in the comment section. Also, drop me a comment. Let me know what you guys thought about this video. Who do you agree with? And maybe I missed something. Tell me what you guys think. I definitely want to talk about this in the comments. And if you like the video, share it with somebody, 2-3 people if you can. If not, I understand. Leave me a comment again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, until next time, peace.